Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the hidden language of corporate filings. Turns out sometimes what seems like a simple update can actually be a masterclass in, well, we'll get to that. Scroll-United States. Scroll today, we are diving into a report from DarkPulse Incorporated, or DarkPulse Incorporated. What is really interesting here is that this isn't a deep dive into hefty financial statements, but rather a brief update on something called Regulation FD disclosure. This basically means they're sharing information that could be important to investors with everyone at the same time, which is a good thing indeed. Scroll the 14th of October 2025. Scroll the key event happened on the 14th of October 2025. The Chief Executive Officer of DarkPulse, Dennis O'Leary, hosted an X Space, formerly known as a Twitter Space. Think of it as a live online chat where he talked about the company S business and shared some updates. Scroll https://twitter.com/i/spaces/1dxjuice/gvgbxm/scroll. They provided a link to this X space so anyone can go and listen. They also mention it can be found on their x.com profile, DarkPulse Tech. This is their way of making sure everyone, big investors or small, gets the same information at the same time. It's like a virtual town hall for shareholders. Scroll Regulation FD disclosure. Scroll now. The important part here is why they're refiling this as a Form 8K, which is a report for current events. This specific part, item 7.01, is all about Regulation FD disclosure. They are basically saying they want everyone to know about this X-Space chat, and it should not be considered a secret tip to only a few people. Is all the furnishing of the X-Space is not an admission as to the materiality of any information therein. Scroll, they also add a very important disclaimer. This filing itself and the content of the X space are not to be taken as them saying everything in that chat is super important or material. It is a summary, and for the full picture, people need to look at other official documents they file with the US Securities and Exchange Commission. Or the SEC are not committing to updating this information constantly. They might do it, they might not. If they do update things, it will be through other official filings, press releases, or public announcements. It is their way of managing expectations and making sure everyone understands where to find the official, complete information. Scroll DarkPulse Inc. Scroll. So, what does this really mean for DarkPulse Incorporated? Well, on the surface, it is a straightforward disclosure. They had a CEO chat, and they are making sure that chat is publicly accessible and disclosed properly. This is less about revealing groundbreaking new financial data in this particular filing, and more about transparency and adhering to regulations on how they communicate with the public. It's a procedural report confirming that important information was shared, and it was shared broadly. However, the very fact that they are pointing us to an X space and not a detailed financial report in this filing suggests that the significant news might be in that audio format. This can be a common strategy for companies, especially smaller ones, to engage with their audience directly and informally. But as they themselves state, this is not a substitute for official financial filings. So while this tells us how they communicated, it doesn't tell us what the big news is financially speaking, beyond general business discussions and updates. This report is more about the communication channel and compliance rather than a deep financial revelation. Scroll be fine signed Dennis O'Leary. Scroll the report is signed by Dennis O'Leary, the Chief Executive Officer himself, on the 16th of October 2025. This confirms he was the one leading the X Space session. In essence, this filing is a formality. It is a signal that the company is actively communicating with its stakeholders. Without access to the X Space content itself, we can only speculate on the general business discussion and updates it provided. But the filing itself is a testament to their commitment to disclosure, even if it is a procedural one. Now, looking at this filing, it's clear the real meat of what might be happening at DarkPulse Incorporated isn't in this specific Form 8K document. This filing is about the method of communication, not the detailed financial results. They are pointing us to an online conversation. This could be a strength, showing a company that is accessible and engaging directly with its audience. It minimizes the risk of selective disclosure, ensuring everyone hears the same news. However, it also means the investor who wants hard numbers has to do extra work, going beyond this report to find the actual financial performance they will be discussing. The absence of detailed financial tables in this particular report is notable. This filing is designed to inform about the event of the X Space, not to present a financial deep dive. It's a different kind of disclosure, focusing on transparency in communication channels. So what is my take on this? DarkPulse Inc. is clearly prioritizing accessible communication, which can be a good sign for investor relations. It shows they are trying to be open. However, for those seeking immediate financial insights, this particular report is more of a pointer. The real story, the financial narrative, likely lies within the content of that X-Space session and other, more traditional financial filings. Without diving into that X-Space, it's hard to assess the company S direction, risks, or opportunities based solely on this document. The strength here is in their adherence to disclosure rules. The weakness is that this report doesn't give us the actionable financial data we often look for. It is a procedural step, a signal to look elsewhere, rather than a destination in itself. Alright, that is our breakdown of this DarkPulse incorporated filing. What do you think about companies using social media spaces for official updates? Does it build trust or create more work for investors? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this analysis helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more corporate deep dives. And don't forget to join our Discord community, linked in the description for more direct discussions. Thanks for watching, see you next time.